And a good Friday afternoon to you. And yes, it is time for the McFarland Show here on Nashville Sports Radio. Darren and Justin here with you.
Yes, sir.
We're live at Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. Adam Johnson is alongside. You can't see him. You can see us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch for the next 2 hours. So it'll be Vandy baseball later tonight. Well, not that long after our show to be, was it a 5 o'clock first pitch, 4:45 pregame here on these airwaves? Vanderbilt in Knoxville against the Vols. I'll just go on and say it, Justin.
Yeah.
If Vanderbilt can do what Tennessee did to them last year here, I think Tennessee's, and I'll bring it up on Monday with Vince, I think Tennessee's baseball season is over. If they get a sweep, I think the Vols are done.
I think if they lose 2 out of 3.
Well, I mean, you could make that case too. But I'm saying that the nail, the coffin will be, I think, sealed shut if they get swept. I think they're done.
Okay.
I mean think they're done.
The season's going to be a bit of a long shot anyway, no matter what happens this weekend. It's not like if they go in there and sweep Vanderbilt, their season is saved. I mean, they still have problems.
Well, no, but I mean, I'm talking about not even in a prediction-wise. You're talking about, like, not going to Hoover. You're talking about not making the NCAA tournament. Not like, they still haven't fixed everything and they can't. No, not like trying to make a prediction, like saying no. Like their season may be over in the fact that they're not going to have anywhere to play.
Yeah. Because
none of the tournaments are going to be inviting them to play.
No, I understand.
Because you do have to get invited to Hoover. It's not everybody gets in.
No, I understand. But, all I'm saying is this weekend is more break than make for Tennessee. I'm just saying them winning a few games this weekend does not cure whatever's going on with their season. Now, if they lose 3 in a row, like you said, it breaks them. If they win these games, it doesn't make them. That's my only point.
Mm-hmm. So a big series beginning tonight in Knoxville between the Vols and Vanderbilt on the baseball front. Well, I got an email from the NFL a little bit earlier today. Yeah.
Are you okay? You ain't in trouble?
No, I'm not in trouble.
You're not in trouble with the NFL?
There are some players that are in trouble.
You got an email from the NFL. I'm like, wow, you got an email from the NFL?
Yeah. I get it. I get an email from them.
Oh,
whenever
you're on the list.
They release
with them. Okay.
any information.
You're on the list with them
about their league.
Yes.
Whether it's who's going to be playing at the draft.
Sure.
In Kansas City. What team's going to have some special people come up to the podium.
Absolutely. Get your complete list.
Yeah. But no, this one was on the naughty list. This was the naughty list.
Yeah.
And it's not good.
It's a brand new era here.
Well, it's not really brand new.
Well,
I mean, I know what you're saying. You're right. Because it's so legal now in a lot of states where it used to be Vegas and New Jersey. That was it.
Yeah.
Sports betting.
Yes.
Now it's very prominent. We know it's been prominent in this state for the last 3 years.
Yes.
And billions of dollars have been wagered.
Oh, yeah.
In this state.
Oh, yeah.
And in the country.
Oh, yeah.
Calvin Ridley, I guess, was the first case study. Was he the first one?
I think so.
Is he the poster child of, hey, you can't do that? You're an NFL player?
Yeah.
You can't gamble on the league.
Mm-hmm. On the actual sport. Yeah,
well,
you can't do that.
4 more players.
5.
4 of them were the Lions.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
4 players for the Lions, and the 5th was from the Commanders. 5 players told, yeah, your season's over, and it hasn't even started because we found out you've been gambling on the NFL.
Now, it's a brand new era from this standpoint that normally when the NFL puts out a naughty list, we're normally talking about what they call the substance abuse policy. That is what they suspended people more than anything else, is the substance abuse policy, which normally meant you had been smoking a little reefer, a little weed, a little marijuana, normally. then we had a new era where the PEDs started to come into play, and anything that can get you a competitive advantage then got you a suspension. Now we're adding a brand new naughty list, and that is the gambling, or you've been gambling on football naughty list here to go along with the illegal drugs technically and the PEDs. Now we've got gambling on that list that the NFL can whack you a full season for.
So they had not heard of Calvin Ridley. They were unaware of his story, missing all of last season. He just got reinstated, which they can do after a year. They missed that story.
I don't think they missed it.
Did the Lions and Washington forget to tell them?
No, I don't.
Did not
think
get
that
the
was the case at
memo?
all. No,
they just decided that they could do it.
I think when this
get
all
away
comes
from it,
out,
get away with it.
I think when this all fully unfolds, I think we'll find out that they were betting maybe through family members or other people or something like that, and they thought by doing it that way it was fine. I don't know that. I don't know that. I don't know. That's an assumption on my part.
Remember, Calvin Ridley, I think, tried to go down that road, and they were like, "Yep, hey, bro,
yeah,
we've got your. This is you. This is you.
Yeah.
These are your betting tickets.
Oh yeah,
it's your name. It's your sign on. Like, this is you, man. This is not some guy with the last name Ridley. No, this is Calvin Ridley. This is you doing this.
Yeah. No, I get it.
I don't know about that. One, that'd be hard to prove unless the family member's like, yeah, look, I've caved. I'm related to him, and he asked me to place those away. That's not the way I'm reading into it, unless you've seen something I haven't seen.
No, I'm just saying you were asking how these guys thought they were going to get away with it. And, or maybe they didn't know about Calvin Ridley. And I'm just saying these are the plausible deniability things that sometimes people do to try and skirt past these kinds of things. So that may not be the case.
Well, you think about it. The guys that have been popped, like you said, for PEDs or marijuana.
Yeah.
They knew. They just chose to still do it.
They thought they can beat the system.
Yeah, they just chose to do it. It's not like they were like,
on the rotation.
Really?
If I take this will mask it. On the fourth day, you got your email. I can time it out right. And they thought about all those things.
Yeah, and I know that they always, usually, right, the PEDs are always like, wait a minute, I didn't put that in my body, or wait a minute, I thought that one was okay. Like, you've heard that a lot. It's like, well, yeah, but here's the problem. Like, you have people on your staff. Yeah. That's their job. And they can tell you if something's okay to put in your body or not. Like, you can actually text them. You can call them. They are readily available at your disposal to ask them, could I get this from GNC? Or if I ordered this through Amazon, can I put this in my body? Like, they can give you the answer.
Didn't we have some players who were suspended from the NFL for performance enhancer, but when they were contacted, they said they were taking it for some ED issues at one point? Wasn't that part of it at one point as well?
Yeah, that is correct.
With, and they're saying, well, the reason I'm taking this has nothing to do with my on-field performance. It's performance elsewhere.
Yeah.
So, that was all part of that as well. So, yeah, they try to say all kinds of things.
Mm-hmm. Where is that other field of play?
I don't know. We all know. We're all grown-ups here. We all know what ED is, right, gentlemen?
Well, I think the commercials we hear today.
So we have. If you don't know, stay tuned.
Start watching commercials or listening to them.
If you don't know, stay tuned,
because it's there.
There will be a gentleman here in just a minute to let us know.
If you didn't know, wait a minute. We're getting ready to go to the break. I'm sure you'll hear one.
You may hear some information about that. I'm just saying, if you play in the NFL, you may not want to take one of these. That's all I'm saying.
Well, the good news is the games don't last 4 hours, so you wouldn't have to call your doctor during a game.
The problem is it's still in the system, though. That's the issue.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, you got to be careful. And there's no excuses out there for these players who are putting themselves, who get a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to play in the National Football League, and then you put yourself in this kind of position. It's really unfortunate.
Do you know why I'm pumped about today's show? Because you were willing to go there, and that makes me happy. Like, I I'm now excited.
What happened?
That you were willing to go down the ED path, and that excites me.
I didn't go down.
Really
I
does.
just looked down the street.
I
didn't
know,
go down.
but you
I just stopped at the intersection.
You pointed. You
and
said,
I
"Hey,
looked down there,
D-Mac," and you pointed
and I
like,
said,
"Look at that.
Hey,
that's ED Road.
I think I remember a situation
That is ED Lane
where some players were suspended for taking medication for ED when the NFL thought it was other performance issues that they were having."
But if I bring that up, everybody's like, "Yeah, of course you did." But if you bring it up, I'm like, "All right, hot diggity dog." Justin's willing to go there.
Listen, I looked down there. We didn't go all the way down there. This isn't,
You didn't. I mean, you're right. You didn't, but you did point it out.
Yeah, sure.
You said, "Hey, look,
it's factual."
over there. Look,
that's factual. That happened.
Straight ahead.
No, we can get more factual. We can start calling out names and dates and stuff, but I don't want to do that.
Look straight ahead. Let's go to Nate in Columbia. Nate, what's up?
What's up, guys?
Save us.
What's up? I wish I could. Guys, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Hey, I wish I could say the name of the road on the radio. My dad claims he used to live down in Nashville, but I might tweet it, y'all, and if I still have the picture, I'll send it to you.
Oh, okay.
I took a picture of a street sign.
Please do.
Anyways, so while I was on hold with your producer, I didn't hear if y'all have been talking about the players suspended. Did y'all see that there were there were 2 or 3 players suspended for 6 games for betting on non-NFL games, but it was in their facility, and apparently that's a rule. You can't bet.
They were betting in the facility?
They were betting in the NFL facility, but they were not betting on NFL games.
Again, how dumb do you have to be? I mean, you're betting. You are placing sports wagers in your team facility. I can't feel bad for you. I just can't. Like, you have to be smarter than that. You just do. I don't care if it was a rugby match. Like, you can't do it. You especially can't do it in the team facility.
No. But, hey, aren't y'all excited with these new – I'm sure you're all going to talk about this later in the show, the new NCAA rules? Now the Iowa game and Army game will only last about 2 hours.
Well, it's better than 4 hours. Keeping with the theme.
Will that pique your interest in, or are you still out on Iowa?
Until they decide to throw a forward pass, I'm out on Iowa football. It is. I mean, you don't need melatonin. Okay, turn on an Iowa football game, and I promise you will go to sleep.
Well, Dan, why haven't you been turning on replays at night when you used to do the Preds games? That would help a
I know. I hadn't discovered. Apparently, I hadn't discovered Iowa offense yet.
Y'all have a great day and weekend, guys.
All right. Let's come back and let's bring in forever Titans wide receiver Chris Sanders. We'll find out if he ever.
You can ask him that. I'm not asking him anything about that. No.
Well, I was going to talk about gambling. What were you talking about?
I don't know.
I was talking about betting.
Me too.
Okay. We'll come back. Chris Sanders on the other side as you listen to the McFarland Show on this very frisky Friday.
With 13 locations nationally, including Smyrna, Star Leasing Company is a semi-trailer one-stop shop and the perfect place to build a career as a semi-trailer mechanic. Seeking candidates with all levels of experience, Star Leasing Company has a semi-trailer technician trainee program with sign-on and quarterly bonuses and other opportunities such as $1,000 for having a yearly physical. Package also includes 401k with company match, health, dental, and vision insurance, competitive pay with weekly paychecks, and paid holidays and time off. Star Leasing Company, not your typical semi-trailer leasing company. Visit starleasing.com to learn more.
From local town councils to Capitol Hill, agents who are realtors are standing up for what's right. We're here protecting property rights. Here advocating for the issues that affect our neighborhoods. Here championing fair and equitable housing for all. Because we are realtors, bound by a code of ethics, driven to serve our communities. We're here for it all. Here for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Breaking news.
Tax refund shock is everywhere, but what is it?
My tax refund shrank.
Mine too.
The culprit? Pandemic-related stimulus payments and tax credits expiring. In this reporter's opinion, you need a tax expert.
Hey guys, Jackson Hewitt guarantees your biggest refund.
And tax prep is 50% off? Going there now.
50% off is a limited-time offer for new clients filing at participating locations. Max value $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey Culligan, I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
And now, Epoch Construction is reminding Americans to show support to the brave men and women who serve our U.S. military. Visit USO.org to locate military care package and see how you can make a difference today. This message brought to you by Epoch Construction, #1 artisan contractor backed by over 20 years of experience. For outdoor living spaces, roofing, and all exterior work, give the pros a call today at 615-766-5490. That's 615-766-5490. Epoch Construction. They're professionals who care.
This is the Greg Pogue and John Burton Show.
It's Miss Amy now for everybody, right?
Apparently it's Miss Amy.
It's Miss Amy, Miss Amy.
I call her AAS.
I call her owner. And then
the boss.
You know what she is? She's a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Damn, bro. She's a gangster.
She knows what
she's a gangster.
She knows what she's doing.
Yep.
Greg Pogue and News Channel 5's John Burton, WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Honest opinions, genuine conversations. The McFarland Show.
Thank you, Big Voice Guy. We're rolling along here on this Friday. McFarland Show here with you.
Mm-hmm.
Darren and Justin, Strike and Spare Family Fun Center Studio. Let's keep the fun rolling. Forever Titans wide receiver Christopher Sanders. Although I did accidentally call him Eddie Berlin when I asked him to come on the show by mistake. I thought I was
Eddie Berlin.
I was trying to text Eddie Berlin, and I realized, oh crap! I hit send. That was to Chris.
Man,
and so
you reached back for that one.
I did.
That was a back shelf, up in the corner.
Just be honest, Chris. Did you even know who Eddie Berlin was?
Yeah, I played with Eddie Berlin. And
you did?
Yeah,
you
did.
could have called me Bishop Sankey or Rocky Bowman or even Ray Childress instead of Eddie Berlin.
Well,
call
again,
me Bishop Sankey.
You keep naming non-wide receiver guys. I'm trying to keep with the wide receiver
Come on,
theme.
man. Eddie Berlin. At least you could call me Billy White Shoes Johnson.
Well, it's
Webster
true.
Slaughter or just flat out call me Gary Coleman.
Slaughter. Man.
I know. I have not gone the
Oilers
route,
yeah.
which you were officially drafted by the Oilers.
Ernest Givens.
Absolutely. When there was two people in the stands.
We've
Haywood Jeffries.
When there was two. Honestly, what was that last year in Houston like? How bad was it?
It was awful. But being a rookie, I was just happy to actually just be playing in the NFL. But man, it was awful. We will come. Okay, I'm gonna give you this picture. Just imagine being on the field. Me being on the field in a fan that's way up at the top. I can make the audible call and they can hear it. That's how bad it was.
Like, what was the lowest attended game, you think? I mean, were there like...
Man, it was empty.
I mean empty,
seriously.
really.
I mean, maybe, and I'm not exaggerating, maybe 2,000 or 3,000.
Get out of here.
No, I kid you not. And we walk out, and we're like, you hear like little cheers, and there's like 5 people in the corner.
A smattering of 5 people.
They're like, yay, go, but they're cheering for the other team. So it didn't even matter.
Wow. Did you guys get pumped?
Did we get what?
Did you get pumped up with the smattering?
Man, no. It was like 2 people. It was one lady that had 1 tooth. And then there was one guy that had a comb over.
Wow.
Man.
So
Man.
Now we're going with the
I was gonna
personal
say, man,
attacks of the people of Houston.
Hope people in Houston aren't listening to this interview right now.
No.
We've seen how swollen you've gotten over the
Dude,
years.
I got swole.
Did you ever PED?
What is that?
Did you ever get popped?
No, that sounds like something you catch on your foot. I don't even know what that is.
It's a bad infection of your corn.
Oh yeah. No, man. I just lift heavy weights, man. I eat a whole bunch of Waffle House, but also Wendy's, and get the biggie bag. So I'm good. So that's how I gain the weight.
The biggie bag.
The biggie bag.
With the biggie weight.
You hanging out?
Man.
You hanging out with Reggie Bush?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but he gets it free. I have to pay.
Yeah. Have you ever seen ED Lane? Have you ever been on ED Lane?
What is that? That's something that you catch on the other foot. I don't know what that is.
It's best to do what you're doing. Just play dumb.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Chris. Don't worry about it, Chris. Don't worry about it.
I have no idea.
Stay in your lane, man. Don't worry about it. Just keep going, man. You're good. Don't worry about it.
One McFarland cares.
I care about you. Don't feed into it too deep, man. Let's not go too deep. There's no need for it. No need for it. Just stay on the straight and narrow.
Just let me be childish for a segment. Come on.
No, I have no idea what that is.
Okay.
I promise you.
All
Can't
right.
afford it. No,
All right. Tell us. I'll just move along, man. I'll get back to being an adult. Jeez. So fine. Yes, Chris. Could you tell us what it's like 6 days out from the NFL draft?
Oh, man, it's great, man. I just sit there and watch TV and just hope I get drafted. And when I get drafted, I'm going to go over there, give my mom a hug, and hug the dog and just say, hey, that's the way to go there, pal.
So what were you like 6 days out?
Dude, kind of nervous because the uncertainty, because you don't know where you're going. You know, you have the first round. You have the guys that kind of know they're going first round. But with me, I didn't know where I was going because when I came in when I played my senior year, I didn't have the numbers and nobody was talking about me getting drafted. And I had a good season that year. So when the draft started to come, when I went through the process of going through the Senior Bowl and individual workouts and all that thing, I still had no idea where I was going. So I was feeling uncertain. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if I was going to get drafted in the third, fourth, fifth, or sixth, in the seventh round. But when I got drafted, man, it was an unbelievable feeling that it's just unexplainable.
Who was your quarterback at Ohio State your last year?
Bobby Hoying.
Bobby Horn, okay.
Bobby Horn, he played with the Raiders for a couple years.
Yeah, he did. He was in the league.
Yeah, Bobby Horn. Wow,
had a cup of coffee.
And then actually, Kirk Herbstreit was my quarterback in 1992. And it's funny because I was looking at old film in 1992 when he played quarterback. Good quarterback. He didn't have the top speed or the strong arm, but he was just a winner.
That's when people said you weren't getting drafted?
Yes, I didn't have no numbers. I didn't even have a touchdown until my senior year in college.
Yeah.
So once I started playing and once I started making touchdowns, then now my name started to float around the league.
So what was so I'm trying to think of the draft. Was it different? Was it still 3 days, or how was it broken up?
No, it was 1 day.
One day? That's right.
It was 7 rounds.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
it was.
Remember back in the day when they had 12 rounds? Come on, man.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And this is what I had to learn in the last couple of years as of, covering the draft and studying guys. It is hard to make it in an NFL, Darren. It really, really is. You're talking about, the best in the world, and 1% of people make it in the NFL. So, just the uncertainty and not knowing what team likes you, or if you're even going to get drafted or what, because there's so many players at every position to where you don't know if you're going to get drafted. That's the crazy part about it.
You probably would have liked to have played in this era. This is a good time to be somebody on offense, right?
Man,
because, wide receiver stock is – look, we've had you on. We've talked about some of these receivers. You've told us the ones you've liked. But, Chris, when I read all these – and, again, we say this over and over and over again on the show. It's just something to go by. These people, honestly, and I'm not trying to – make fun of them. I'm not trying to be ugly about it. Truly, they don't know. They don't. Go back and review after the draft. They're way off, okay? They don't know, okay? They're just trying to get, but that's okay. They're allowed to give their opinions, and they're allowed to give their insights and how they feel, because that's what we're all doing. Yeah. Everything I read, it's like, this wide receiver crop is not a great crop. Like, they're going to get overdrafted because everybody wants receivers.
Yes.
but they're not really it's not a great receiver class. Do you agree with that, or do you push back on that?
I think there's a couple that are special, and there's a couple that you're like, everybody's talking a lot about Quentin Johnson from TCU. He's 6'4", 215, but he's inconsistent. He struggles with catching the ball, and in this league, you can't be a body catcher. And if you're a body catcher, the coverage is so tight that you got to reach out and grab it. So I think he's going to struggle. But the couple of guys that I really, really love is I really love Zay Flowers from Boston College, 5'10", 177, explosive, really fluid. But the guy that's above all the rest is Jackson Smith-Njigba. And the reason why I say he is the best right now is because he's a technician at running routes. He reminds me a little bit of Torrey Holt from the St. Louis Rams. He's just a technician. He's not fast. He's not going to wow you with taking the top off the defense. He's going to wow you with route running, making plays. If you look at last year when he played in the Rose Bowl, he had 15 catches for 347 for 3 touchdowns. He's a guy that can come in and play right away. But a lot of these other receivers, a lot of them are fast, but a lot of them don't know how to run routes.
Yeah, the problem with the draft, and it's not anybody's fault because it is what it is. I mean, but we judge you by your draft pick, right? It's like, people love to defend Corey Davis and say he's really not that bad. It's like, yeah, I understand he's not that bad for a 3rd or 4th round pick. The problem is he was the first receiver taken, and he was the 5th pick overall. Yeah. And the 5th pick overall is expected to be great. He's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, that's a true statement. I mean, when you're getting picked in the 1st round, they're not bringing you in to come and sit and drink Gatorade and just look at film. No, they're expecting you to come in and play, and not just play, but be an impact player. And I think that's the situation with Corey Davis. Is everybody, says, okay, he's picked at the 5th pick. He's got to come in and he's got to wow you with his technique. He's got to wow you with running routes. He's got to wow you with all these things. But he didn't play elite competition. What school did he went to? So I just think that when we judge guys like that, I don't think it's fair. Let him come and develop, and let him come in there and try to make some plays.
How much do you judge where a kid plays? In other words, the talent he's going up against. You played at The Ohio State. You saw great competition. You're playing in a big conference. You're playing big boy football. And again, not to be, but look, everybody's playing the sport, and guys get found in smaller conferences, smaller schools all the time, and they end up being great pros. I'm not trying to, downplay that. Kevin Byard came from right down the road at MTSU, and look at his career. But how much do you put stock into guys having to go up against, I don't know, corners in Michigan State, as opposed to some of these guys that are maybe being projected from small schools?
Let me give you an example, and when I say this with the utmost respect. Is Rated from North Dakota State. Rated. He came in, and he started to go against elite competition. What did we see when he was in practice? What did we see when he was in the game? He couldn't do it because he wasn't facing elite competition every single week. Now I want to break it down another way.
You're talking about Dylan Radins?
Dylan Radins.
Okay.
From North Dakota State, yes. But then now you look at the situation, Alabama in practice alone, they're going against elite competition every single week. So it really does matter because you're going against the best of the best. It's like and I'm being really respectful when I say this, but just imagine, Jeffrey Simmons playing in North Dakota State. I'm not degrading that, and I'm not putting it down, but he's going to dominate. He's going to just really crush it. But then when he faces somebody that's just as good as him, technique-wise, he's not going to be successful because he's not familiar with playing top-notch players. So I say that in a respectful way, but it is what it is.
Chris, how do you go about the process of picking an agent?
My situation was crazy because a lot of guys come in there and they want to benefit their family. They want to set their family up for life. I picked the agent that played the game, actually, and then also that he doesn't need my money. Because a lot of these agents, figure out a way to get your money, and then they tell you the wrong information, and they tell you things that you want to hear, but they're not telling you the truth. And I think the agent that I had, the first agent that I had to fire him, but the second agent I got, he played for the Raiders. He cared about me as an individual, and once he said, you said this, I don't need your money. I don't even want you to pay me 5%, but you have to pay me 5%. But when he said that and he cared exactly about me, then I could trust him. You have to trust your agent. If you don't trust him, then there's no way that he's going to make it well for you because he's benefiting himself.
But you're so young. I mean, you're
Very
coming
young.
out. You're coming out of college. You've been told everything in the world, and now you have to hide. This is the first really big decision that you got to make, fresh out of the box. And maybe you've got your parents. Maybe you don't.
Yep.
You know, like maybe you've got your coaches and college. I mean, who gave you advice about how to go about this?
You know, I had my mother. My mother gave me a lot of advice, but here's the thing that I had to run into, because a lot of agents are going to come in and tell you what you want to hear. You know, I didn't have a lot of money growing up, so what is the agent going to do? The first agent came in and he said, you know, man, I'll give you $60,000. You can do whatever you want to do, because it was enticing to the ears. So once I told my mother that, I said, Mother, what do you think about this? We got $60,000 and we can do what he wants. She said, baby, the reason why he's giving you $60,000 is because you're going to have to pay it back in interest and have to give him back more. So once I heard that, then I said no, because he really doesn't care about it. Then on the flip side, this guy wanted me to sign a contract with him that's not even a legal contract in the NFL. So you have to be smart, because a lot of guys and a lot of agents are going to want to take your money but not help you in personally to make you be well off for the rest of your life. That's how I had to choose.
All right. So 1995, the NFL draft, you're a wide receiver. They were taken in the third round, number 67 overall. There were 5 wide receivers taken before you in that draft. Do you know who they are?
Yes, I do. Freeman, Antonio Freeman. That's one. That's what's the dude who played for the doggone San Francisco 49ers? Dadgummit.
It's I see it here. It's J.J. Stokes.
J.J. Stokes.
J.J. Stokes.
Joey Galloway.
Joey Galloway.
And Frank Sanders.
Frank Sanders, yes. Frank Sanders was taken in front of
by
you.
the Arizona Cardinals.
There's one more here. Taken. He was the wide receiver right before you. It's okay if you don't remember, because apparently he didn't make much of an impact in the league, from what I can see. Jimmy Oliver was his name.
Man, who that buster?
Wide receiver from TCU, taken number 61 overall. Now.
Hey, now I'll give you 5 cents if you answer this question. What 2 rookies made the all-rookie team that year? No cheating.
What two
What 2 rookies made the wide receiver out of that wide receiver class? They went to the same school.
He said went to the same school.
Yes.
I don't know. I can't reach back.
Galloway and Chris Sanders.
There you go. Now,
I thought we were friends. I'm gonna talk to the other McFarland.
You can talk to him. I'm just saying. Now, listen.
I'm talking to the other McFarland.
I'm gonna cut your break, because you actually got one of the names incorrect.
Oh, did I? Who did I get it incorrect with?
Antonio Freeman was taken, but he was taken after you.
Oh.
Well, yeah. See,
So the first overall wide receiver taken in that draft,
J.J. Stokes.
No, number 4 overall to Washington was.
Oh, Westbrook.
Michael Westbrook.
Michael Westbrook. That's right. Because me and him almost got a fight at the combine.
He fought a lot of people.
Dude, I ain't scared of a lot of people, but I is scared of him. Not is, but I is scared of him. Hey, this okay. I know we gotta go, but I was this is how we was about to get in a fight. You know, I walk on my toes. My nickname is Tippy Toes. So we're in the elevator and just kind of paying my mind, and he starts to laugh at me. He said, you walk on your toes, such and such. So I told him, I said, man, kind of gingerly, I was like, man, I'm just gonna I'm gonna get after you in the drills, because he was in my group in the combine. I said, I'm gonna give him my all, and I'm gonna try to beat you. Man, that dude flared up and tried to get swole. I said, man, I apologize.
Did you really?
Yes, man, that dude is swole. I mean, his ears were even swole. Seriously, he's just a swole dude.
Man. All right, Chris Sanders is here with us. Chris, last thing before we go, at least for me anyway, is about this opportunity. And Darren and I just talked about it, and you spoke about it briefly. The very few guys get to play in the National Football League. Very few. And I know you have seen it over your career, and it's happening again even as we speak. There were several players suspended today because of gambling and gambling-related issues in the NFL. Some of them gambled on football. Other people did not. Yeah. They just gambled on other sports, but did so within the facility and things like that.
Right.
How careful were you, and what was the talk like about how easily this can all end, even when something non-football happens? It's one thing if you get a knee injury or something, but when you get something like this is non-football. Like, this is not even on the field. This has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, it's very important, and I think that's why the Rookie Symposium is so huge, because it tells you what to do and what not to do, but that's all they give you. I think the player development guy on each team needs to sit down with each individual and go through all the rules and go through all the things you can and you cannot do. So now, if they make the wrong choice, if they do gambling, if they act crazy, then it's their fault. But the thing about it is, when you're at the Rookie Symposium, they're throwing a whole bunch of information at you, and guys are really not paying attention. So when you get to the club, you got to make sure that the player takes the initiative to meet with the player development guy and say, you know what are the things I can do? What are the things I can do? What are the things I can't do, so you don't make those wrong choices? It's kind of like this. Kind of give an example. A lot of guys say, okay, when they get caught for drugs that's in their system, they say they take a substance, but they didn't know something was in there that was illegal in the NFL. That's not the NFL's fault. That's your fault, because you go find out by your strength and conditioning coach. Say, you know what, is this okay if I take this? He'll say yes or no, so now you won't make the mistake. So now, and on the flip side, with the same thing with the gambling and everything that's going on, go to your player development guy and say, listen, if I do this, is this right or wrong?
Have you had a chance? Do you have any thoughts on Chris Moore, who they just signed?
He did good against us when we played him.
Yeah.
He's okay. He's another guy, and I say that in a respectful way. But we got to get some playmakers. We got to get some guys that can take the top off the defense, that when he catches the ball, he changes the game. So I know Burks has the potential to do that, but we don't know with his injury situation. We're going to have to get some guys in here to make some plays. And I'm not saying Chris Moore is not that guy, but if I'm doing a scouting report, I'm just going to put my second or third best corner on him and shut him down.
Well, I don't think he's going to be. I don't know what his role is going to be, but it doesn't.
Yeah, that's
it's probably not going to be a prominent role. I can't imagine.
Let me ask you this: is this any different between NWI and Chris Moore?
Well, that's what. Okay, so you literally. I was going to follow up with, okay, well, who's higher in the pecking order in your opinion, Chris Moore or NWI?
I think NWI, because he's been in the system. Chris Moore, he's going to come in and give the guys depth. So, you still got Ray McMahon, Kyle Phillips, and Burks. Those are just guys, as opposed to Burks. We got to get somebody to complement Burks like you have for the Philadelphia Eagles with A.J. Brown and I forgot the receiver's name, but somebody else like that.
From Alabama.
Yeah, from Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, first round pick.
Why you sound all sad? You need a hug, don't you?
Chris, always a pleasure, my man. Always a pleasure. Thanks for having fun with us, as always.
Hey, I love you guys. You guys.
We'll see you next week, Chris.
Let's do it again.
No
Chris will be on Fox 17 next week with us for some draft coverage. So come through, man. Good to see you.
All right. Swole Chris Sanders. Appreciate him joining us.
Absolutely.
Michael Westbrook, by the way, was a mixed martial artist.
And Chris was right. He was swole. He was the muscular
He went on
guy.
to have an MMA career after football.
Yeah.
So he's not a guy you wanted to fight.
Yeah. Very physical wide receiver.
And he did get in fights when he was playing football.
Yes, he did.
He did, even with his teammates.
Played with a boulder on his shoulder.
Not
a chip.
Yeah, I see what you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus,
well done.
He played in Colorado, so
yeah,
that's the other part.
So there's that. Yeah. Well done. So I told you it's going to be a good show. We're feeling it today. We're feeling your phone calls or text as well. 615-844-5600 is our phone line and our text line. We'll come back and talk with you next here on the McFarland Show.
Hey, Nashville, start your day the right way with Bongo Java Cafe, located in the lobby of the Omni Nashville Hotel. Bongo Java is Nashville's oldest local coffee company. Get your day started with a freshly baked muffin and wash it down with a hot cup of dark roast or hair of the dog blend. With free Wi-Fi, you can get some work done while enjoying a toasted breakfast sandwich. Beat the traffic. Treat yourself at Bongo Java Cafe, located in the lobby of the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown Music City.
Like any good agent, we're here for the open house, for the closing, for handing over keys. But because we're realtors, we're here for so much more. Agents who are realtors volunteer at nearly 3 times the national average. We're working to broaden access to credit, increase affordable housing supply, and ensure fair housing for all. And realtors are bound by a code of ethics. We're here for it all. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Hurry and shop the final days of SpringFest at Lowe's. Right now, get an additional $300 off when you spend $1,996 or more on select major kitchen appliances. And keep your lawn looking fresh with savings on the Ego 15-inch string trimmer. It was $219. Now it's $199. Shop SpringFest today because Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 4/26. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for details.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer,